everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here, because today we're embarking on a seriously fascinating journey. We're going to decode the art of flipping, literally taking you step by step through a system that transforms free, discarded junk into cold, hard cash. If you've ever found yourself wondering how some people just seem to build a profitable side hustle out of thin air, well, you're in the exact right place.
And just to prove how real this is, look at this. One experienced flipper on Reddit recently reported over $800 in profit in just 2 months. Plus, they had another $400 worth of inventory waiting to sell. The kicker? They got it all using the free section of Craigslist. I mean, this just brilliantly illustrates that massive profits are hiding in plain sight, right in your own neighborhood. You just gotta know exactly where to look.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to start with sourcing free items, then we'll uncover their hidden value, followed by cleaning and disinfecting. After that, we're tackling the golden rule of pricing, exploring 3 core pricing strategies, and wrapping it all up with the psychology of selling. So let's get into it.
Section 1. Sourcing free and cheap items. Beating the competition on the curb.
Now, when you're trying to acquire inventory for exactly $0, you're competing against literally everyone else who loves a freebie. So your absolutely crucial metric here is 30. 30 minutes. That is your maximum window of opportunity. You see, valuable stuff posted on free sections, like Craigslist, is usually snatched up by the time an ad is 30 minutes old. If you're only checking listings a couple times a day, your odds of landing a high-value item are, well, pretty terrible. You have to be first and you have to be fast.
To actually get that competitive edge, you need some solid tactics. The savvy flippers, they subscribe to Craigslist's RSS feed for instant notifications, so they literally never miss a fresh post. And when you do reach out, precision is everything. Don't just send a generic, "Hey, is this available?" No, give an exact pickup time. Say something like, "I live nearby, I can be there in 15 minutes." You also want to target those fresh curb alerts before anybody else can mobilize. Oh, and watch for seasonal changeovers. Think snowblowers right before winter. And always, always keep your eyes peeled for commercial restaurant equipment. Seriously, a discarded commercial mixer might just need a tiny simple fix to unlock hundreds or even thousands of dollars in profit.
Moving right along to Section 2. Uncovering hidden value. Decoding the maker's marks. So, once you've successfully hauled an item home, you need to figure out exactly what it is and who made it before you can even think about pricing it. Maker's marks are your golden tickets to authenticity. We're talking metal plaques, paper labels, branded wood, but they're designed to be discreet. So grab a flashlight and check these physical spots. Look under chairs, peek inside drawers, check the back panels of heavy dressers, or hunt for little metal tags hiding near the base of sofas.
And what's truly fascinating is just how much information a simple mark can hold. Check this out. If you find a Lane furniture stamp, look closely at the serial number. You can actually read that number completely backward to reveal the exact month, day, and year the piece was manufactured. How cool is that? It's just a brilliant example of how a tiny detail can instantly unlock an item's history and, more importantly, boost its resale value.
All right, Section 3. Cleaning and disinfecting. Removing the thrift store funk.
Knowing what you have is great, right? But buyers will absolutely pay a premium for clean items. Getting rid of that funk is mandatory prep work. Here's a super effective, step-by-step way to handle it. First, get it outside, slap the cushions, and vacuum up all those massive clouds of dust. Wash any removable covers you can. Now, for odors that just refuse to leave, cheap household items are surprisingly your best bet. Sprinkle some baking soda to absorb moisture, or, get this, liberally spray cheap vodka from a spray bottle right over the upholstery. I know, it sounds totally crazy, but as the alcohol evaporates, it takes the bad odors right along with it. Finally, for those really stubborn, deep stains, you want to step up to enzyme cleaners or maybe even rent a steam cleaner.
But honestly, perhaps the simplest, literal zero-cost tip of all is just letting nature do the heavy lifting. Simply leaving a used couch or a wooden dresser outside in direct sunlight is a fantastic way to sanitize it. The UV rays naturally kill off lingering bacteria, leaving your item refreshed and, most importantly, ready to sell.
Which brings us to Section 4, the golden rule of pricing, avoiding the biggest reseller mistake. Okay, so now your item is absolutely gleaming. It's time to shift gears to the financial mechanics of flipping. Hands down, the biggest mistake new resellers make is looking at what other people are asking for an item. Listen, asking prices, they're basically fiction. It's just what sellers hope they're going to get. The absolute only metric that matters is sold prices. That's the cold, hard facts about what buyers actually paid. Please never base your listing on some hopeful asking price of an item that's just been sitting there unsold for 6 months.
So you might be wondering, where do we find this actual data? You use the eBay sold listings method. This is the absolute gold standard for pricing research. You search for your specific brand and model, you click the advanced filter, and you check sold listings. Look at the last 30 to 90 days of sales to figure out the exact price range, the average, and the median. Take a mental screenshot of this list right here, because spending just 5 minutes doing this research will save you weeks of sitting on overpriced, stagnant inventory.
Section 5. 3 core pricing strategies. Finding the sweet spot.
Once you have that sold data in hand, you have to make a strategic choice on exactly where to position your item. Depending on what your end goals are, you can take one of 3 paths. Market price means just matching the average sold comps. This is perfect for common items where you want a nice, balanced profit and a steady sale. Then there's premium pricing, which is going 10 to 20% above market. Keep in mind, this is reserved strictly for those rare, mint condition pieces. But let's talk about competitive pricing for a second. This is pricing 5 to 15% below market. Now, I know it sounds like you're losing money, but here's the secret. It turns over your inventory incredibly fast. By freeing up your cash quickly, you can buy and flip 3 more items in that exact same time frame. So competitive pricing can actually generate way more total profit in the long run.
But your strategy also heavily depends on exactly where you're selling. You have to adapt to the unique vibe and personality of the marketplace. On eBay, you've got buyers comparison shopping, so you generally want to stick to that market price. On Poshmark, though, the whole culture revolves around heavy negotiating, so you intentionally price 30 to 40% higher just to give yourself room for offers. And for local platforms like Facebook Marketplace, where everyone wants to haggle in person, build in a 10 to 15% buffer. That way, the buyer feels like they totally won a tough negotiation while you still walk away with your exact target price. Win-win.
All right, our final section, Section 6, the psychology of selling, mind games that move inventory.
We've covered the math, right? So now let's explore the human mind. The actual way you format your price matters almost as much as the number itself. This is driven in a huge way by something called the left digit effect. It's a documented psychological phenomenon where buyers perceive a price of $49.99 as significantly, vastly cheaper than $50 flat. Why does this happen? Well, the human brain reads left to right and anchors really heavily on that first digit, the 4, processing it completely before it even registers the 99 cents.
So when exactly do you use this trick? The 99 ending signals affordability, and it works beautifully for common items priced under $100. However, if you're selling a high-end, premium vintage piece, you want to stick to round numbers. Think about it. A vintage Rolex watch priced at $1,997 subconsciously feels kind of like a trick, right? But pricing it at a flat $2,000 signals absolute confidence, quality, and authenticity. Now, even with absolutely perfect pricing, sometimes items just sit. And that's exactly why professional flippers use a strict chronological timeline for dealing with stale inventory. At 7 days with 0 views, don't drop the price yet. Instead, fix your photos or your title. At 14 days, if you're getting views but no bites, go ahead and execute a modest 10 to 15% price drop. And at 30 days, drop it another 10 to 15% just to get your capital back so you can move on to the next flip.
The absolute biggest takeaway here is discipline. Do not undersell out of sheer impatience. Follow that timeline strictly. Honestly, far too many beginners get nervous after just 2 weeks and they completely slash their prices by 40%. They literally leave massive amounts of money on the table just because they didn't trust the system. Stick to your data, guys. It works.
Well, there you have it. You've seen the entire journey. From claiming a free item on the curb in under 30 minutes, to decoding its hidden history, deep cleaning it with sunlight and baking soda, and finally leveraging hard market data and human psychology to close the sale. You now have the roadmap, you have the tools, and you have the pricing strategies. So I leave you with this. Look around your neighborhood. What item are you going to flip first?